But first, so let's record this. First of all, welcome to week 11 of English 204. We have done the bulk of the work. So from now on, it should be a smoother ride for you from now until the end of the semester. What will happen from now until the end of the semester? This week, you're going to start working on your position paper. I do have a video for you on how to transform your outline into a position paper. And it's simple. Your outline as is, especially those of you who have done like a very thorough job with your outline, your paper is somehow already written. So what you need to do is take this outline and expand it into a paper. Now, do you add research to it? Do you add this and that? You have to watch the video to find out. And I also included for you a paragraph on background and significance. This paragraph on background and significance is already in your outline, but it shows you what you need to write in specific so that you can expand it into a larger or a more elaborate paragraph. So let's take a look at this. Let me know if you can see this. Can you all see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. So background and significance section of the research term paper gives me some more information about what you're working with. It introduces the reader to the topic before the reader dives in. This is sort of like your floor plan for the paper. So you give me some background information about your topic and etc. So why is background information important? Because it helps you focus on the important information that's related to the paper. It also helps you narrow down your topic, and it helps me understand how you reached your your topic in a sense. So it also is the transition between the introduction and the literature review. I have to say something over here. Background information is sometimes placed with the literature review in the introduction. It depends on the journal where people are publishing their work, but sometimes for lack of space, researchers put the introduction, background information, and the literature review all into one paragraph. But here we're going to be separating them because we need to learn how to write it. That's the whole point. Where do you find background information? Encyclopedias are a good source where you can gather general information. Or sometimes such general information can also be obtained from the articles that you are looking at. They can provide you with some general information. Background information tells me where the idea started. Many of you have outlined the background information paragraph pretty sufficiently in your outline, so you can just follow that. How do you organize it? You can follow this link over here. Okay, what else do I need to tell you? Yeah, okay, let's concentrate on this part over here. So the background information expands upon key points stated in the beginning of your introduction, but it's not intended to be the main focus of your paper. It supports the research question and what did we know about this topic before we started studying it. It helps your reader determine if you have a basic understanding of your research problem being investigated, and promotes confidence in the overall quality of your analysis. Depending on the problem being studied, forms of contextualization of the background information may include one or more of the following: cultural, economic, gender, historical, interdisciplinary, philosophical, physical, spatial, political, social, or temporal. background information can also include summaries of important relevant research studies. But, in this research, we're going to leave it until the literature review. So the structure and writing style of your background information can vary depending on the complexity of the research. Are there concepts, terms, theories, or ideas that might be unfamiliar to the reader? You are defining your terms. It's a more thorough definition than in the introduction. If you feel that you need to introduce or define in the introduction, do that. Otherwise, you can leave it for the background information paragraph. Are there any historical elements that need to be explored? Let me give you an example. So if you're talking about cancer treatments, you can give some background information about the first research that was done and the first treatments that were done, and who came up with the idea, how was it developed, etc., etc. So you're giving sort of like a historical lesson, but keep it short. So this is basically what a background and significance section is. It is a section. I don't want it to be long. And so when I say I don't want it to be long, this means that I do not want it to be more than a longer paragraph. So it should be almost not more than a page long, double spaced. And where does it fit? You can take a look at your outline. In the outline, it says where a background significance paragraph is. However, it usually follows the introduction. And after it, we have the literature review. This is what we're going to be working on this week. We're going to begin with the position paper. We're going to begin expanding the outline and turning it into a position paper. It shouldn't be that difficult because almost all of you have thorough outlines. And so many of you have practically written your papers by outlining your papers to a T, like with all the details and everything. So you're basically, those phrases, you're expanding them into full sentences, and the full sentences, putting them in paragraphs, and the paragraphs are linked together with using transitions. So this is, in this video, I show you how you do that. Having said that, next week we're going to take a look at introductions and conclusions and how to write those. We will begin by writing the conclusion first before the introduction. We leave the introduction until the end. And the reason is because, let me just mute all people who enter. Yes, the reason we write the introduction last is because once you've written your paper and once you've written your conclusion, when you go to write your introduction, you're much, much more confident about what you have to say. As a compositionist and as somebody who has been teaching for a long time, I can tell you that students who write their introductions last appear to be a lot more confident about the research because they know exactly what they will be writing about as they write their introduction, or they know exactly what they have written about as they are writing their introductions, so they write a much better introduction. So if you leave it all the way until the end, it comes across as much more confident. You know where you're going, you know what you're saying, you know what you're doing, etc., etc. And knowing your research question and knowing your thesis statement will help you in writing a very good introduction. But still, we're going to leave it all the way till the end, and it's always the best thing to do. Your introduction has to be written last. بالمقلوب. This is how we write papers. نقلبهم ونكتبهم. So after writing the arguments, after writing background information, you've already finished the literature review. You're going to write the conclusion and then move back to the introduction. But that's in week 12. After that, in week 13, and I will reveal the week for you ASAP. By the end of this week, I'll reveal this week for you as well. What will happen is I will open up these conference days. So you can choose a day to meet with me that week, either Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. They will be, I don't know why this says November 27, but they will be they will have times over here, and you can pick a time. Only one person per group can pick a time and save your choice. So I will reveal these once I've fixed them, and so you can uh, where am I? Yeah, and you can pick a day and a time to meet with me. Okay. Um, Once you've met with me, we're going to be talking about your paper, discussing your position paper, discussing what you have so far, and I'm going to be working with you, not against you, to show you how you complete your final paper. Because you have to remember, this course is about teaching you how to write a research paper, and this is what you've done so far. You've gone through all the motions of how to think of a research paper, how to formulate a research question, how you come up with a tentative research thesis statement based on little research, how you read articles, how you find the articles, how you annotate articles, how you summarize them, paraphrase them, quote them, and then how you begin writing your research following Toulmin's model argument in specific. And then in the final week, week 14, I will have the submission slot for you for the final submission. And then what we will be doing is fixing, we're not going to do the annotated bibliography per se, uh, but I'll figure this out later on. I also have over here a checklist for you, formatting examples, and the 204 checklist in PDF. So what you can do is you can follow the checklist to make sure that you have done everything. Like, for example, did I use homonyms properly? Do I support what I say with references? Did I use internet or Wikipedia as a reference? Do I switch, from first personal pronoun, second personal pronoun to third personal pronoun in my paper, or do I use something consistent? We'll talk more about this as the time comes, but this is your checklist. And then you submit. So 3 things that we're going to be doing. First of all, we're going to be beginning with our position paper, but this means that you shouldn't take it too slowly. Yani, the faster you finish, the less you have to do later on, especially because you have finals coming up and final submissions. So بلشوا اشتغلوا عليها من هلا, as simple as that. Next week, we will work on introductions and conclusions. The week after, you're going to be meeting with me for our conferences, in which you will be deciding on ahead of time. I figure out they're first come, first served. So you book your appointment, and يعني ما في negotiations. يعني ما تأخروا كتير. If you want a specific time, if you have full days, you have to pick the class time that we have to meet with me. One person per group books an appointment with me, and you all have to be there. Not just one person has to be there. So the whole group has to be there. Somebody is asking me. Okay, you want to talk to me when class ends? Okay, sure. When can you book? I will let you know, Kinda, as soon as I reveal those. Don't worry about it. I will reveal them and tell you they've been revealed, so go and book. No, nobody's going to get a preferential treatment or anything. That's for sure. Okay. I have enough times for everybody, and if you feel that it's not working for you, you can always tell me. I might reduce them to 3 days, just because We don't have to meet. And by the way, during that week, when I have one-on-one meetings with you, I will not be holding this session at 6 o'clock because it's we'll be using the time to meet one-on-one. You will have ample time with me. I will meet with each one of you or each group for 30 minutes, so you will have ample time for us to go over the paper and look at what needs to be improved, what works, what doesn't work. Basically, what you've done is you've written your paper in different parts, and now what we're going to be doing is stitching the paper together and assembling it. But بلش يخف الشغل هلا. No, Mark, the next submission will not be the final paper. The next submission will be when you have the conference with me, you have to submit your position paper. So you need to submit your position paper week 13, which is the week of April 20, April 22. Okay. All right. Any questions? Any more questions? Yeah. Great. Any other questions? I have to remind you of this. The entire group meets with me. You use the Zoom link. You come here. We meet. You have to have submitted it the night before, so that I can have time to read them. And I can go over your paper with you and tell you what needs to be fixed, etc., etc. Please make sure that the entire team can meet on that time and that day. Okay, so the night before you submit, and the sooner you get it done and get done with the meeting, the better. And then afterwards, you just take my suggestions, you correct your paper, you implement any changes, and then you fix it. It's like a peer review, more or less, except that your peer is me. So I will be working with you to help you fix your paper. I'm not the enemy here. I am your private editor, if you want to think of it this way. Okay. Any other questions? Ask now or forever hold your peace. No, you can always ask me on the WhatsApp group. We include the intro and conclusion in the position paper. أكيد. Yes, أكيد. Your position paper is sort of like a complete paper. And I will try to have the literature review corrected and returned to you so that you can edit it and include it in the position paper as well. Okay? You are welcome. Any other questions? No? All clear. What I wanted to tell you is that this process is quite intensive, but you might not have felt how intensive it is, in the sense that when you put your paper together at the end, you're going to be shocked to see the paper, because students end up, I mean, if your outline, for example, is 10 pages long or 9 pages long, your paper is going to be at least 20, 25 pages long. You're going to think right now, how am I going to write a 25-page paper? You will. And it'll be the smoothest thing ever. If it's not smooth, if it's difficult, it might have to do with the outline and how much of the outline have you completed. But since most of you have done a fairly good job, I can honestly say it's going to be a smooth process for most of you. So it should be fun. And that remark and note is more for Farah. I don't know if Farah is here. Is Farah here? Yes, Farah is here. Farah is worried about how is she going to write a paper such a short period of time. You will be fine. All right. Farah, you're gonna surprise yourself and be very happy. Okay. Other questions? I don't mean to put you on the spot. I'm sorry. We're all more than capable. Yes, you are. You've done some pretty good work here. بلش جاد هلا والcompliments وتيم جاد and I don't know what and شوف حالهم علينا. كمان برد له اياها جاد is king. جاد الكينج كمان مش بس مع عربي. Okay. Great.
Sorry.
For
Professor, just to make sure, the position paper is 2 pages only? Did you say it's only 2 pages, the position paper?
no. No.
Oh, لا أكيد no.
أكيد لا. I said what did I say was 2 papers? Nothing. Pages.
Nothing.
No, I said the background information is a page. But not the position paper. Definitely not. How can you write just like a 2-page position paper? That's like even shorter than your literature review. Anyway.
It's my fault, Professor. I misunderstood because at the beginning it lagged. So I thought you said the position paper is 2 pages. So I gave them false information.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you, May. No, not 2 pages for sure. Not 2 pages. I don't want to give you a page number. There is no limit. It's just that you're developing your paper and you're seeing how long it is. It might be, I don't know. I mean, can you write a complete paper in 10 pages, 12 pages? Yeah. Can you write it in 15? Yeah. Can you write it in 25? Yeah. Can it be 30? Yeah. So it's not like the longer the paper, the better, and the bigger your grade or the higher your grade. No, it's not going to be that way. Is it a correct, complete, cohesive, comprehensive, thorough, coherent paper? Everything with the C. Yeah. I like the letter C. It's like cite, compare, contrast, critique, connect, and now cohesive, coherent, comprehensive. So yeah, so it depends on the quality of the paper. You can write a 30-page piece of crap paper, and you can write a 15-page paper that is excellent, or even 13 pages that is excellent. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop recording.